Good morning. Good morning, Florida Panther fans. Now, at some point during the game last night, you know those things that happen and you think something and then you forget about it and then it happens and you're like, ah ha ha ha. Burns decides to slash Chucky in the nuts after the period.
He speared
And
him.
he's yeah. And once we knew that Chucky was going to be okay, because he got up slow and like, oh, what, you didn't know what happened. Did he get crumpled? Did a knee? What's going on? Then we saw the replay. Soon as that happened, I'm sure many of us thought, I bet he's going to get that revenge. He's going to get revenge. And I mean,
what better revenge?
If you don't believe in karma now, and we've got this guy for 8 years in his prime. Morning, Stu.
At a bargain.
At a bargain.
So before we get going, as I was setting up, my neighbor downstairs shouted up to me, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. Did you hear? June 8th is the start of the finals. They got 2 weeks off.
June 8th?
That's what he told me. He said it's all over the place. So I'd like somebody to we'll have to confirm that, but
what I had heard, I mean, because they had a tentative scheduled date of June 3rd. I'm gonna look this up real quick.
I'm just telling you what he told me. That would suck, man. Panthers are on a momentum roll right now. They don't need more than a few days off.
I don't know, man. I've Googled it here real quick. I don't know, because the original date was June 3rd, and that was if Vegas wins 7 games. So
if Vegas wins tonight, I'm just telling you what he told me.
Yeah.
I said, where'd you hear that? He goes, it's all over the place.
All right, well, I haven't been to Twitter this morning, so it either is or isn't. Somebody in the comments will let us know. You want me to load these pictures up for you?
Yeah, so, I've started to get in a little habit at the beginning of the video. I call it Stu shout-out time, because more and more people are, stopping me and saying hello and whatnot. It's great to meet everybody. So anyway, first shout out shout out to Mark for driving again. We got a nice little thing going there, conversation going on, except I have to be backseat driver and tell him to get in the middle lane and to go more than 60 miles an hour. Oh, anyway, boy. Dana, thanks very much. This is the seat I had last night, 109 row 26. As you can see, directly behind the net where the Panthers defend twice.
Gotcha. Thank you, Dana. Genuinely, yeah. Thank you.
So, obviously get to see the warm-ups from there. And, obviously you get to see Bob making save after save. So right. Thank you, Dana. All right, before you get to the other pictures. So I want to shout out to Ron. Ron came up to me. And Ed, Hank, and Diane. And then we had Ben and Jen were sitting next to me on the other side. So the first picture I think you're going to have is, let's see.
Which one you want?
Jake and Gary.
I believe that's this one?
That is correct. Now, okay. Jake is on the right. Jake is the one, if you go to my Twitter page and look at my new profile picture, which used to be Barkov's body and my head. Now it's Chuck E. Cheese with the mouthpiece included, except right. Jake's got to work on shrinking my head because it looks like I'm a mutant. So he told me last night he's going to get that finished. Anyway, and that's Gary, his dad, in the middle. And it's weird is we were talking a long time. Gary's birthday's May 31st, and mine's the next day. So happy
Wow.
early
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
Gary!
Yeah.
Enjoyed you guys last night. It was really fun. Um, okay, so let's go to the next picture.
Want to go to Hector?
Yeah, so that's my man Hector. Hector, I sat in with him on Monday, and hopefully be sitting with him one of the finals games.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, so it was nice. And again, a couple of people came up to me, and I'm really sorry they didn't introduce themselves, and I didn't ask and write it down. And of course, my pea brain just
You wrote some of them down. That's an improvement.
yeah.
Now, this is my favorite one. That's my favorite one.
First time, first time ever, and this was an Eric inspired rally cap. Even though we were still up by 1 goal, and it
Yep.
didn't really help because Foss scored, with 3 minutes and whatever seconds were left, and I fully expected the game to go to overtime, and I was
Mike,
just
the chat on the stream did not. The chat was 100% positive energy. We got this. We got this. Even people that would normally have been maybe a little like, uh-oh, everybody was like, we got this.
all
We,
right,
we
cool.
got this.
Well, I
Yep.
definitely look like a doofus.
Yeah, well,
I won't be doing that again. But
I,
I also, my bald head was sweating, so it kind of helped.
oh, you're not kidding. When I put the scarf around my head, oh my God, I mean, I'm burning up, bro. But got
So
to do it. Got to do it. And let me see the last picture. This is probably Stu's favorite.
yeah, so that's Jake on the right. He wanted a picture with Gabby. I don't know if you could blow that up a little bit, but
You know,
Gabby's the in-game hostess. She's really a sweetheart. I mean, she's really really nice, and she does a great job. And of course, she's really pretty. And
yeah. And
that's
as we're
Gabby.
sitting here, I'm realizing I forgot to take out my garbage. The garbage men are passing by.
Uh-oh.
Yep, that's
So
nice.
that's it. That's it with the pictures and the shout
Okay.
out. Um,
All right. Let's
so
get to the game.
let's get to the game. So what's funny is before the game and warm ups, I'm talking to Jake and I'm talking to Gary. Actually, I started. Mark can testify on the way down. The keys to the game for me was getting out to that rock'em sock'em, right off the opening whistle,
Right.
putting guys through the boards, scoring a goal within the first 5 minutes. And of course, we got one with 41 seconds.
Yeah.
Great. Even though I wanted Barkov to shoot, I kind of knew he wasn't going to.
Right. Right. Right.
Flair got himself in great position. He missed the first one, or Anderson saved it. But
Yeah.
somehow the puck came right back to him and bang, bang in the net.
Yep.
41 seconds. Can't ask for a better start.
Nope.
And then a minute or so later, the hit heard
The hit.
around the world.
Jeez.
Oh, the building shook. And poor Slavin was sent to the next planet.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. He could have, for all intents and purposes, like stayed on the ground because he was knocked out for a second or two.
Yeah, I know. I mean, when he tried to get up and he stumbled again, I was like, whoa, dude, just take a second. You know what I mean? The last thing you need to do is fall again. Clean hit.
Yeah, and not only was it like an intimidation thing for the Canes, they lost one of their
Yeah.
top two defensemen,
Yeah.
Burns and Slavin.
Yep.
So, and then a little while longer, we got another goal. Chuck E. Cheese with a beautiful. I mean, the guy is the best player in the league in front of the net.
Yeah. Oh, it's not close.
It seems like he's got a magnet on his stick. How the puck
Yeah.
seems to go to him all the time, and he does another 5-hole. He just has it down.
Yep.
So good Selly, like the Selly, and it's hysterical. The mouthpiece, like
I
he don't even put it in his mouth.
I know.
So now we're up 2-0, rocking and rolling, and then it just don't, it came to mind, like, let's not have another Toronto
Yeah.
get 4. Unfortunately, they didn't listen to me because that's exactly what happened. They sat
That's our thing in elimination games. We must get a 2-0 lead, blow it, and then win it. That's just what we
They took
do.
their foot off the gas.
Yeah, they did.
Although we did have a few opportunities to get that third goal.
Yeah, we had 3 or 4. Yeah.
Anderson made some good saves. We flubbed a couple of odd man rushes, and the guys passed too much.
I mean, we had some chances that just didn't go in. I think it was either Barkov or Kachuk was in close and they hit the post. I think it was Barkov. He did a move and he hit the post real close in short side. So, I mean,
obviously getting him back was huge.
Yeah.
I'll just say, I'm not going to say for once because he's done it before, but he looked so much better in the face-off circle last night. He won some key draws in the offensive zone, especially on the winning goal. But so the goal, the first Carolina goal, Bob had it and lost it. It's kind of like that goal that Marchand scored. If Bob just laid back a second sooner than he did, that puck is it's not open for
right.
whoever it was that knocked it in. I think it was Stastny. Yeah, it was Stastny.
Yeah.
So now we're 2-1, and again, I just don't think they can sustain the rock'em sock'em robots, I call it. How they come out and just destroy these guys with crunching hits. I don't think they could do it for 60 minutes. I
don't think they intend to. I think last year, when we needed goals, we would just turn on the running gun, do what we needed to do, win the game. This year, when we need to turn on the physicality in the forecheck, we just turn it on, do what we need to do, and win the game. It's the same game plan, just a different game plan. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's the same. It's different, but the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they even said, they asked Kachuk. I'm going by third person here. I didn't hear this, but I heard it. They asked him after the game, well, when Carolina scored or tied the game, were you guys nervous? And they were like, actually, no, now we're in our comfort zone. And you see it because now especially with this group of guys, when they get into a situation where it's like next goal wins, all we got to do is score. We don't have to hold on to the lead after that. Game over. These guys just have it.
Listen, in sports, confidence is like 80% of the battle.
Right.
And they are on such a high right now. So if there's a delay to the start of the finals, I'm not happy about that because right now they could go tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I guess we'll see. All right, so
we get wrong information all the time.
Yeah.
So I'll wait to see, what that. I don't know why they would make it June 8th when June 3rd was the original, So, but anyway,
we'll see. All right, so Carolina ties it 2-2. We get the go-ahead goal. Who scored the go-ahead goal? I'm trying to remember.
What, our goal is Lomberg.
Oh yeah. Beautiful tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
All right, and then they just went in that protect the lead bullshit, which I hate. And that third goal was scored because we couldn't clear the zone.
Right.
2 players. I think Bennett was one of them. I think Gudis was the other, where they had a chance to flip it out, and they just, Carolina had like pounce. They had two guys pounce on them.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's give Carolina some credit, okay? I mean, we had some chances in the third period. I don't think they played completely just shut it down. Yeah, they were dumping pucks, but we were forechecking just as much as we needed to. Carolina, they were just taking all the chances. I mean, as soon as the puck was in our zone, all five Canes were in the zone. They weren't even worried about it going back the other way.
And they
You
had
know,
to. They had
right. So, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily, you know, when in football, when a team needs to score 2 touchdowns with 5 minutes left, you got to play pass defense because you know they're going to throw the ball. You know what I mean? I don't think it's necessarily a mental thing where they say, "Oh, we're going to shut it down." I just think that the way Carolina was coming out, they were rolling the dice, right?
Right.
Because if the puck comes out the wrong way, we've got a 2-on-1, a 3-on-1, and the game is over. They rolled the dice
Exactly.
and they won that part in terms of getting it tied up. So
So another factor for me that I noticed was the referees were calling it really tight
yeah,
until the third period, where they basically put their whistles away
right,
until, you know, that flagrant trip
right.
by Stahl on Forsling.
Yeah, I mean, you got to call it. It's behind the net. You got to call it.
Yep. So, of course, bang, bang. Another great now. So the power play. So I think Bennett had it at the point. He passed it down to Barkov, and
Yeah,
Chucky was right behind the net.
Right.
He's done that play numerous times. And as we
Yeah.
talked about post game
Yeah.
last night,
Yep.
nobody went to him to knock him
Yeah.
off his ass. I mean, his skates. And
Look,
Pesci fell down in front of Anderson,
right.
and Chucky went around him. And what's great about Kachuk, he's so smart.
Yep.
He took his time.
He took that extra second.
He took that extra, like that pump fake, and boom, in the net. So now we have a new one. Instead of 3.2,
Yeah, it's
it's
4.9.
now 4.3.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Game over.
And I mean, in the recap last night, I talked about it, even though I was sky high by the time I filmed the recap. But I was still cognizant enough to recognize if you watch Kachuk's goal, I'm just watching it in amazement because I'm like, it's amazing what he did. But the second part to that amazement is they just let him do it. He just skates by like 3 Canes, and it was like watching the old Ekblad and Yandel show out there.
That's what I thought.
And they just let
Like
Kachuk
watching-
just
It reminded me of how many times Yandel
right.
let a guy go around.
They just let him. They didn't even. I mean, they didn't even like take a penalty, drag him down. There's 5 seconds left, right? I mean, because the penalties don't carry over into overtime, right? I don't.
Yes, they do.
Do they? Okay. So that takes that. But still, I mean, they did just let him do it. They just let him do it. I mean, he had enough time by himself in front of the net to take that extra second and collect the puck and move it into perfect position. And that was kind of shocking to me because that's not the Canes. That's not how the Canes game. You know what I mean?
And then, of course, there was a challenge, the goalie interference.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way they're taking this away from us.
No, it was quick. Now, I've heard 2 things. The referee on the ice said we have a situation room, that he said the situation room initiated it.
Because it's in the last minute.
But then some people said that it was Brindamore, but I don't think.
NHL Network said they review the goals for that.
I see.
In the last minute of the game.
I see. Okay.
So
Right. Yeah, it was quick. At least they made it quick.
So, then we had the line, and I was waiting for the brothers to hug it out.
Right.
Eric and Jordan just shook hands. I don't know what they said to each other, obviously, but Jordan did kind of sort of hug Mark.
Right. Okay.
That was the highlight of the line for me.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
than that, it was just very gentlemanly,
Right.
good game, whatever.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
it was great seeing Maurice's reaction. If I've watched the end of the game now.
Oh yeah, when he punches his coach.
So, and that's the guy that he credits. That's the power play coach.
Yeah, it's a power play coach. Yeah.
They went 2 for 4 last night. Remember how Randy was talking about how important the power play, if they could only get the power play going?
Yep. Yep.
So, it took a really, my routine is half a cigar before the game, half a cigar after the game. I used to smoke in between periods, but they don't let you smoke anymore.
Right.
And so Mark gives me the keys to his car, and he takes his sweet-ass time. I mean, it was at least 40 minutes. And I found out later he was hanging out with his bunch of guys, and
Yeah.
they were on TV or whatever. But I don't know how you felt about, we talked about this post-game, about them touching the trophy.
Tampa Bay did it both times they won.
Right. But
And the Capitals did it and they won. So it ain't no curse.
no, but what was cool was Kachuk's answer. And if those that weren't on the stream last night late to hear what he said, basically what he said was, he didn't say F you. He said, we've earned that trophy.
Right. Yeah.
Even though it's not the cup,
Right.
they've earned that.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Of course, I'm going to hold it and touch it and whatever.
Yeah. No.
But, you know, it was nice. I just wish they had pushed Bob right up in the front, in the middle. You know, he kind of went, he was last in the pack, and he went to the back of the thing, and that was the only thing.
Maybe that's what he wanted. You know what I mean? And remember, we talked about this specifically with that picture in Beezer, and you see Beezer up front he's letting it all out. And in hindsight, you look at that picture and you're like, that should have been the cup winning picture. That's the picture when you've got the cup there. And not taking anything away from that team, but
we know that Bobrovsky's a very humble guy. Every single interview, he gives praise to God. I just thank God for letting me be in this situation, blah, blah, blah. So, unbelievable. 27 years I'm waiting. Now, what's cool is, all right, so Mark and I, we finally get out. We finally get home. I'm on the stream with you guys, and I'm like watching as I'm doing right now. They're still replaying some of the highlights.
Yeah.
Billy Lindsay did not do the radio call last night because he was on the NHL Network.
Right.
And they made a big point of saying it's fitting that Billy is with us.
Yep.
So there was a clip that they showed a couple of times when the game ended or when Kachuk scored. Billy went insane, crazy. He's throwing his hands up and fist pumping and whatnot. But I forget who it was. I always space out. But they asked him about, what it means to him. And Billy was almost crying.
Yep.
It was a real human moment where he's like, it's been a long time and it's been a tough road. So when I say he's Mr. Panther, he's Mr. Panther. He wears the Panthers on his sleeve. He's like, so that was really nice. And of course, it was said something like, Carolina lost it. And Billy's like, no.
Right.
The Panthers beat them.
Yeah.
And he pointed out the elite players, Kachuk, Bennett, whatever, Barkov, they stepped up while the Carolina elite players, Aho, they didn't.
Right. No. Kachuk, by the way, 3-game winners. I don't know. At this point, it's like a dead heat. Have they ever given out
4?
What? No, but I mean this series, 3-game winners.
Oh.
Just this series. It was the 2 overtimes, and then I forget who got Well, the 1-0, that was Reinhardt. So yeah, Kachuk won. But the thing is, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, have they ever given out a Conn Smythe? Because I mean, I guess we still got some games to go. But how do you pick?
I think they have. One thing I want to tell everybody, and I don't know if anybody noticed this, on that Kachuk goal, Reinhardt hit the post.
Right. Yeah, right beforehand. Yeah.
And it went into the thing, and somehow Bennett got it at the point.
Right.
And passed down to Barkov. But, Barkov's so smart. I mean, that's that set play, I guess, where,
I can't believe they let him do it. That's the thing, as I'm watching it, I'm watching the replay, and I'm watching Kachuk just come around the net, and, I mean, I'm thinking of it in reverse, like if that was our defense. If that was our defense, we'd be here screaming and spitting blood right now. That how could you let him just escape from behind the net? Nobody touches him from behind the net, around. He took the long way. He took the scenic route. He stops. He collects the puck. He toe drags into position, and nobody touches him.
Well,
nobody touched him.
You watch after the goal score. Anderson was pissed.
He was. He
yelled at Pesci was on the ground.
Right.
And he yelled at him.
Right.
You could see it clear as day. Who knows what he said? Listen, I don't feel sorry for the Canes. Just like I don't feel sorry for Toronto or the Bruins.
Right.
We took it to them. We were a lot better than an 8th seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure,
and we're the hottest team right now. I mean,
it's not even it's an insult to hot. We're 11-1 in the playoffs.
So anyway, 4-goal Bob. I say always we get 4 goals for Bob. He usually wins. So I'm looking for Vegas to sweep tonight. Ben's out,
right?
And we talked about this last night as well. Dallas goes home. They're down 2-0. They got a chance to get back in the series. And they come out flat with no energy.
Terrible.
No desperate. And they get down 4-0 in the first period. Game over.
Right.
So, so we can kind of sort of talk about, not in this video, but maybe the next one will be.
No, but it just now hit me. It just now hit me that we can talk about who are we going to play in the Stanley Cup Finals, and nobody's going to say, don't get ahead of yourself. It just now hit me. Right now, sitting here like, hey, wait a minute. No, we're allowed. We could do it now.
Well, I have a feeling that Maurice said to them, we don't want to go back to Carolina, boys.
Yeah. You don't.
Some way they were determined. They wanted it more, and that's what I'm seeing. Especially in this series, that they're so close right now that nothing's going to stop them.
No, you look last night. I don't know if it was the same for you. Even when Carolina tied it, and even when they tied it again, energetically, at no point was even just looking at the body language of the players. It's like even when Carolina tied it, you could kind of look at them and like, yeah, they ain't buying this. Even Carolina knew. You could, they didn't think it, but you could just tell that they were kind of like the celebration was muted. It was like they were just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it did. And so now
that whole bench was stunned. You could see the look on Brendan Moore's face.
Right?
Like, how the F did they beat us?
Yeah.
So think about who we've beaten. And, comparing it to the 96 team, and I talked about it last night for those that weren't on there, the 96 team was a Cinderella story.
Right.
The Panthers were in their 3rd year of existence, and their team consisted of cast-offs. It's not Vegas and Seattle had good teams because of the cap, and the draft was totally different than the draft back when the Panthers became
the only reason anybody calls this Cinderella story is because they did what I said they was going to do, which was start slow. I mean, we won the President's Trophy last year.
Right.
And most of those guys are still here. And the one guy, main guy that's not here, we upgraded like by by levels.
And
So
we upgraded Montour for Uyghur.
we upgraded a coach too. Let's be honest.
Montour came out of, I'm not going to say came out of nowhere, because from the day we got him, just like
Right.
Wing, you and I talked about it, that this kid's going to be really good.
I want to say one thing before I forget, because I talked about this yesterday in the podcast, and I want to talk about it publicly a little bit. I know that Forsling and Montour need contracts, and I know we already gave Mahura an extra year. Sign him. Get him a bridge deal now, please. Because, like Carlson and Kierstead kind of struggled both times that they went to the playoffs. Mahura is not struggling. Mahura is out there. Give him. We signed him to a 1 year extension, so he's up next year for like another 850 or like maybe $1 million or something.
Steady
I don't
Ed.
know if we can, you know, re-sign him after just re-signing him. But if we can, give that kid a contract, please, because he's going to be Forsling 2.0.
He's solid.
Yeah.
He if he only could, just like Forsling started to come out of his offensive, shell, so to
Right.
speak. Mahura is like 95% defense.
Yeah,
It's
which is
rare, it's rare that
Right.
you see Mahura, and he's done it on occasion where he'll rush the zone or, take a shot from the point, but mainly
Right.
he dumps it in and he's looking to pass.
right. Yeah, which that's
so
fine.
So steady on defense.
Right.
Gotta tip my hat to Eggplant. He only made one flub. Other than that, he played a solid game. He wasn't out of position. He didn't really have to skate like the wind to catch
Right.
up to somebody. Although he did have a couple of icings that he skated like the wind.
Right. And-
Gudis,
Yeah, I was going to say Gudis had all of the games because he had the stupid penalties, but he went out there and made up for them every time. You know what I mean?
those 2 hip checks were like
Oh,
super.
I know.
And of course, what can I say about Forsling? He's the best.
Now, the only thing is, the only negative is hopefully Luosterainen is okay, right? I mean, he blocked the shot. It went off of his knee. Was kind of surprised that he wasn't able to come back, so he was really hurting. As long as there's nothing structural, he didn't go down in a pile or anything. He was just in a lot of pain, so maybe it hit his kneecap.
Could just be a bad bruise.
Right,
So,
right. So we'll have some time off.
They get a week off.
Right.
He'll be-
But I will say, if he can't go, they put Ryan Lomberg in that spot, and no problem. We're good. We're good. I mean, not that I want to be without Luosterainen. Don't take me wrong there. But we've got guys that can come in and be gamers, and that's all we need now, because all we got to do is do this.
Yeah. Well, what's wild is before the game started, I told Jake and Gary, I said, Lumber's scoring tonight. I just had a feeling. I get these feelings like you get them.
Right.
I just had a feeling that Lumberg was going to score. So Chuck E. Cheese is 1 point behind Hines off Dallas, which will be swept tonight.
Right.
So I am projecting, and all the other guys behind him, McDavid's out,
Yeah, they're all done.
Warner's
Right.
out. Chucky's going to probably end up the top scorer in the playoffs. So
Right.
it's going to be a tough Conn Smythe, but still got to give it to Bob, because without Bob,
Well, we still got one series to figure that part out. You know what I mean?
yeah, if Chucky goes on a tear and
Right.
gets a couple of hat tricks, it's
Yeah.
gonna be, but I'd have to look it up. We'd have to look it up and see, have there ever been a Conn Smythe winner?
Let me look it up right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's probably yes.
I know there's been Conn Smythe winners for the losing team. Remember, it's not just the finals. it's through the playoffs.
Right. Let's see. Has there ever been a
Co-winner of the Conn Smythe.
I'm not. It didn't come up. It didn't.
Well,
Let me see
that's
if.
what we have comments for.
Right.
Usually there's somebody out there that has the answer.
No, they're telling me who's won it multiple times.
What's a shame is that McDavid's going to win the Hart because it's McDavid,
Right.
and Chucky's in the Florida Panthers, the small market.
I'm looking at the history of Conn Smythe winners, and there has been no co's.
Okay.
There's been no co's.
Okay.
So,
Well, you know what? It really doesn't matter. The cup is all that matters.
yes,
Chucky don't care about. He's even said it 1,000 times. I don't care about personal stats.
right.
They're meaningless to me.
I don't know, man. He wanted that truck, though. He wanted that truck in the All-Star game. There's no doubt about that.
Gave it to his mom.
Yeah.
Oh, so obviously, the camera, when I think after the first goal, Big Walt was up in the suite, so he was celebrating. Brady was in the owner's suite, and guess who flew in from Czechoslovakia for the game?
Who?
Jaromir Jagr.
Oh, that's right. They said it at the end of the stream. He was there.
Yeah, and when they put him on the Jumbotron with his beautiful girlfriend,
Yeah.
the crowd went nuts.
I bet.
So he was in Doug and Vinny's suite. That was cool. But, the suite to the left, I always take a look up there. There's
Right.
Zito, and sitting next to him is Luongo, and then the assistant
Yeah.
GM. Brian McCabe is the director of player development.
And just them winning it at home, man.
Yep.
To be after all these years.
Yep.
Because well, I know that when we clinched before we beat Pittsburgh, that was at Pittsburgh.
Correct.
So I mean, we've never had a trophy on our ice.
Correct.
You know what?
Correct. So here's my take. Two takes. Number one, we're the Road Warriors. We're the best road team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it's 6 in a row, 7 in a row,
Whatever it is at this point.
Number two, Vegas does not know what's going to hit them. The West doesn't play like that physical game like we play.
Right.
And if we can set the tone in game one in Vegas, and Bennett can go nuts like he did on Slavin,
I feel good.
I feel good.
Look, I mean, let's put it this way. This will be the last thing I say. If you're a fan of this channel, I mean, and watch my preseason preview. I'm not dropping the mic, but if you're a fan of this channel and watched what I said in my preseason preview for the series, how can you not believe at this point? For to see what I said. If you haven't watched it, I predicted, my prediction for the year before the season started was the Panthers are going to win the Cup.
I think you said Calgary was going to be in
I did. Now, in my defense, when Calgary didn't make it, my bracket for my league is Vegas and Panthers.
Yeah, well, I said it was.
I've got the hang of this. I'm getting the hang of this thing a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I said Vegas was going to win the West.
Yeah. But the point is that I didn't make the point. The point is that we this all has not happened for us to not finish it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It will be a losing season if we don't win the Cup.
We're it's not even an if. We're winning.
We're
winning.
That's why.
That's no disrespect to Vegas, and that doesn't mean it can't be a 7-game single goal every game, triple overtime. But in the end, that the trophy's ours. We're winning this.
This is the year, boy.
Yes.
After,
Yes.
again,
Because think about it.
and you
Look at. Sorry, but just look at how we've played, how Kachuk has played. Not the results, how Bob is, but just the mentality, the mentality that these guys have. Yeah, they might lose a game, but are they going to lose four? This team, the way they're playing right now, it's not like you got to beat them once. You got to beat these guys the way they're playing right now four times.
right. If Bobrovsky plays the way he's been playing,
Right.
Vegas is going to get frustrated, just like the Bruins, just like Toronto.
Right.
Hey, they kept the star players off the sheet. Did
Right.
Matthews even score a goal?
No. No.
Marner? Oh, Marner scored one goal.
Marner scored one and he scored one
Nylander
of
was
the.
the big guy. But did Aho score?
I don't think so. I mean, they didn't get many goals. I know he didn't get one last night. I mean,
So the big guys for them, Marchessault, Eichel,
Smith.
Pietrangelo,
Stone.
you got to watch him
Right.
at the point.
Right.
Carlson, Smith.
Smith.
They
Yeah.
neutralize those guys. We have our depth. We talked about the third and fourth line and the depth.
Right.
I'm telling you, man, these guys have stepped up.
Yep.
Ryan
Yep.
Lundberg, we all thought was just a fighter, and he's a guy that can play hockey, man.
Yeah. Look, he was 3 minutes away from technically 2 game winning goals because he won game one in overtime. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, he won game one in overtime, and if Carolina wouldn't have tied it up last night with 3 minutes left, he'd have had a game-winning goal last night.
Yep.
So,
Well,
yeah, I mean,
the other thing that's happening, that's just adding to the mix here, is Duke is getting hot now.
yes.
And again, we talked about a 30-plus goal scorer last year. If Duke starts getting hot, and Barkov is feeding them, because Verhaeghe still is the puck hog. I'm sorry, I love the guy; he's great, but there were 3 instances yesterday where he did his dipsy doodling and stuff, like Vinny Trocheck, where he could have dished it off and didn't. But
I know, but I will take that from Verhaeghe.
Yes.
There's certain guys that you don't want to change their game.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
because when you need it, right? When you need it, give the puck to that dude. He's gonna score.
I agree. I agree. That's why, listen, I call it like I see it. I just gave praise to Aaron Ekblad.
Right.
Probably, I thought the last game was his best game. Last night was his best game. Mark Stahl,
Oh man.
solid.
Yeah.
And what can you say about Sam Bennett?
Jeez.
If
I
Chucky is the heart of the team, what's Bennett? The aorta?
He's like the liver. You can't live without your liver, man.
He is
Everything runs through him.
I mean, his checks are punishing.
I know.
Not only the Slavin hit. I mean, you get hit by that guy, he's a tank.
And he just keeps on going like you don't even like nothing.
And of course, we got Gudis, man. And Gudis used to be a goon. Gudis,
Right.
he was a dirty player. I hated him.
He saved a goal last night, coming speeding back, and I mean that was Radko Gudis. That wasn't Forsling catching up to the play. That was Gudis, and that leads to the last thing I want to say. They just want it more. Right now, that's where we're at with this team.
They can taste it.
It's no longer about this matchup, that matchup, this one, this. They want it. I just believe they're going to have wanted it more, and that's it.
All right, here's my last thing. Just remember, the LA Kings were born in 1967. They won their first cup in 2012. Do the math. The Washington Capitals were born in 75. They won the cup in 16? 40 years. It took them 40 years to win the cup.
Yeah.
This coming season, 2003, 2004, whatever, 24, will be our 30th anniversary.
Yep.
It would be freaking off the chart
to
raise the banner in the 30th anniversary year.
Yep. Love it. Love it. All right, everybody. I'm going to have some more content out. I'm going to have the highlights from the stream last night, and I'll see what else I can do before I crash again. Kyle and I will be streaming Game 4 tonight, and that's it. Panthers
And
and
as I
Stanley
said,
Cup.
as
Yep.
I said last night in the post,
Yeah.
I'm going to give them a day off. I'll text
Right.
them and congratulate them, but I would expect, not promising it, never promise, but
We're going to try. Right.
Yeah, we should get Randy and Billy on before the final start.
Right. Yep.
Let's see what happens tonight.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support, and yeah, you'll see more of me today later on.
Oh boy.